Yeah, 유학을 원한다면 welcome to my 호주. 근데 웹 서칭해도 광고글이 전부 강무작정 떠나고픈 내게 필요한 건 바다군이다 알려주는 호주. 일단 협박했어 교감을 like yes. 우린 아주 솔직히 우주 우리 나발이 no flex. 손 일단 들고 들어봐봐 빨리 고민 편견 오해 싹 다 풀어줘 like 마사지.
오늘 날씨가 너무 좋아요. 오늘 햇빛도 진짜 좋고 되게 오늘 뽀샤시하게 나오는 것 같아서 기분도 좋은데 오늘은 조금 멜번에 있는 학교 모셨고요. 많이 들어보셨을 거예요. 저는 멜번에서 이제 공부를 했어요. 호주에 있을 때. 그래서 맨 처음에 이제 멜번에 갔을 때 되게 큰 감명을 받았다고 할까요? 했던 학교 중에 하나인데 멜번 시티를 가시면 시티 전체가 마치 이 학교의 캠퍼스인 것 같은 그런 이제 느낌이 드는 학교거든요. 이제 뭐 보통 표현하기로는 도시형 캠퍼스라고 보통 표현을 많이 하는데 그런 멜번 시티 전체가 캠퍼스로 사용을 하고 있는 멜번에 있는 RMIT대학교에 대해서 얘기를 오늘 나눠볼 거고요. 오늘은 이제 멜번의 RMIT대학교의 이제 매니저님이신
I'm good, how are you?
I'm good. Could you please introduce yourself?
Yep.
Yeah.
안녕하세요.
Oh.
That's all I can say. My name is Joseph Dow. I'm from the RMIT University located in Melbourne. My title job is I'm a regional manager, which is I'm responsible for promoting our university within the region, including in South Korea.
I just mentioned the opening part, and because your campus is like the city campus.
Yes.
In the Melbourne CBD is just your own campus look like.
That's right.
So yeah, it was very touched when I came in the Melbourne at the first time. So
That's right.
yeah, I just talked about it. So
Okay. It is very fortunate that 132 years ago, 1887, that's when our university was established. It was a vocational education training, and if you come to Melbourne, we're next to the State Library and right the corner of Swanston and La Trobe Street, which is adjacent is the Melbourne Central Stations. That's where we started. It was a very small institution about 132 years ago, but it's over 130 years, 32 years, we've grown into a very massive city campus. So we have 3 campuses actually in the city, in Victoria or in Melbourne and the Greater Melbourne. So the smaller 2 other campuses is 7 kilometers from the city center, which is called Brunswick campus, which is about 2,000 students currently enrolled there, and they are mainly in the design, fashion, and textile area. And then we have another campus further out, which is about 20k toward the north of the city of Melbourne. We have about 7,000 students out there. We are offering education, biomedical health sciences, and some high level of engineering because we need much bigger space to have our lab and facilities. But the rest of the other students, population or cohort is studying in the city center. We've got roughly about 51,000 students are enrolled in the city of Melbourne campus. We occupy roughly about 7.7% of the city land, which is one of the largest landholder in the city of Melbourne. We also have 2 campuses outside of Australia, in Vietnam. So we have a big campus in Ho Chi Minh City, and there's another campus in Hanoi. And together we have about 7,000 students enrolled in RMIT in Vietnam campuses. And we have a small campus in Barcelona in Spain. So that's another one. So it's further away. So we actually probably one of the most internationalized institution in Australia, where we have brought, beside that we also have our programs, our RMIT degrees offered in Singapore, in China, Hong Kong, Indonesia,
so then they can
Malaysia.
travel easily each
Yeah, so some of the programs are offered outside of Australia through a partner, and those what we call the transnational education, which is mean we're bringing our Australian education RMIT degree to another country that we're offering, and we have been doing this, or we have been offering this kind of partnership model about now over 30 years. Yeah. So RMIT has been very internationalized in that way. So it was a very small institution locally, and we come from a very humble, background, very small. But now we actually not only grow locally but internationally as well.
지금 한 가지 계속 얘기하면서 제가 계속 말씀드리고 싶은 게 있는데 지금 120, 130
2 years.
그 지금 호주 역사가 되게 짧은 거 아시죠? 그 짧은 역사 안에서 100년이 넘었다는 건 굉장히 오래된 학교 중에라는 하나라는 뜻이거든요. 그래서 되게 전통 있는 학교고요. Can you tell me about your school? I mean, you just mentioned about your school life. I'm not talking about where you are. I mean, what is your school? I mean, I just wanna ask who you are.
In terms of the institution or in terms of myself?
I mean, your institution.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people.
Your specialty.
Exactly. A lot of people actually have chose their institution or destination where they go. One of the most important thing that, or one of the things that they don't normally ask is, all right, let me just repeat it. In some way, people looking for a foreign institution or university where they're going to spend their time and money to invest in their education, future education or future career path. They're either looking at the name of the institution, the ranking, but sometimes they're not aware why and how it's come to that place. And I think there are about 42 universities in Australia, and each one of us has something very different and quite unique in different way. Not because of their reputation in terms of ranking, and ranking quite sometimes come from one or two areas of their specialization, but if you look at the whole university, you've got to ask, what is special about each one of them? I don't know much about other universities, but I think I can go back to the conversation about RMIT, and we might go even further back into the past. First, we ask why we were there in the first place. So give you a bit of history about RMIT, then you can understand what our education system and what we are focusing on. So we started as a vocational polytechnic kind of institution where hands-on practice, so you learn by doing things. And that's what we were doing, because that is where the space of the education 132 years ago, that is quite limited. So 20 years earlier, that was the University of Melbourne, which is quite popular in Melbourne as well. But they are more traditional, they are more for higher society, which is they offer degree in various areas like medical, law, and so on. But the rest of the population, 80% at that time, didn't have any places for the training. So we actually established or founded to support that 80% of the population, to giving them the practical, the skill that they need to be equipped to support the growth of the city. So over 132 years, we're still doing the same thing. Whatever we teach, whether it's the vocational, we still actually have the vocational level under the university structure. So it's everything under the university. So vocational, university, all in one. But we're still doing the way that we have been doing for 132 years, which is our method of teaching is practical method of teaching. Which is mean that whenever you study at RMIT, you either have a choice or chance of doing 1 year of practical. So for example, RMIT still offered our traditional degree of business, which is a 4-year degree where the students study year 1, year 2. They have to do work experience for 1 year, and then they come back to finish off the 3rd year. Now in the 3rd year, they actually work in a real work environment for a real job. So it's just like a graduate entry level. We prepare the student to go for the job interview and everything. And we have, in order for us to be able to provide the internship or the practical component, we must have a very large network of industry partners. We've got roughly about over 2,000 partners locally and internationally who are supporting our education system, working with us, not only to provide the student opportunity, but also that work with us to design our curriculum. So they have their feedback from them, how we should be structuring our education system to prepare the student for the future workforce. That's how we do it. So that's one unique thing about us. Now in the case of the student don't get that kind of into the program where they do the work experience, they have projects. And the project actually real industry projects. So for the project, they could be working in a group, but they actually do at least 3 projects per year. and they have a major one in the final year. That's
yes.
right, they have a major one in the final year, and these are for real clients and they are for real scenario. So let's say if you study marketing, and we will give you a market research that is belong to an organizations, and then you go out and get all the information, interview, and you present. So that what we try to do is to give you that kind of knowledge, and then you know to how apply the knowledge is into practice, and then that's how we teach you. And so by the time you finish the degree, you already not just that know how to apply, but you remember it by doing so. And then when you go for the job interview, it's so. What is in Australia? They say when you go for a job interview, they give you the scenario, and then you got to address that.
Yeah.
Okay, but they always say, and give me an example. So you don't just say that you know, but you also say I have done this. So you give them evidence that you have done. You don't just say I know it. I know how to work, but
yes.
you've got to give them that evidence.
Much
So
better.
so that support your job interview a lot. But also that because of the structure of the program, as you can see, if you come to MIT, you'll be asking me, I want to do business. The first question I ask you, what kind of business? If you want to do engineering, I would ask you what kind of engineering, art and design, the same thing and so on. Why? Because we are very specialized university. Whatever you come to study at MIT, you've got to know exactly what you want to study at MIT. So you are very clear about your future direction in terms of your career path. Otherwise, continue. And the reason why we have to specialize from year one is because we prepare them for the third year, that they have enough knowledge to take on those work internship or projects. That's how it is. So whether you do art and design or business or engineering, you have that additional real industry projects. Not just the assignment or the practical lab or the studio and so on. Let's say for example our engineering are very popular because beside the lab, the lab works that they have to do, the assignment and everything, they actually have the opportunity to work on a real project. It could be building a car, and that is co-curriculum, which is not compulsory, but they can have the opportunity to do that if they wish to do so. Or they can build a robot, it could build a system, or whatever they wish to do. So we have thousands of different projects for them to work on. And they actually have to come up with a team of people. Let's say, for example, to build a car, you have to have a team of people who actually managing the finance side of it, the project management side of it, the design side of it, the engineering, also different engineering, and you put a team together, and then here we go. And that kind of thing will be supported by the university as well by the industry people, because you need to convince the industry people that your project is going to be good. So then they will donate the parts, the financial for you to build that project. Art and design, we are quite successful in this area because the people who are actually teaching you in the class or in the art and design, they actually come from the industry. So why do the industry people bring their firm or their work so close to the university? Not because they actually need extra money, but because they want to be part of the education system, so they can provide the student the opportunity to practice on those kind of studio based that is related to the work that they do. And by doing so, also that you bringing in the idea or the topic, and then you got so many other ideas from the student, rather than just one or two people or 3 or 10 in the firm. Now you have access to the whole group of students. They all come up with different ideas. That's where that's what the industry partner, they are very interested in working with us and teaching our students. That's because of that.
중간에 껴들어갈 수가 없어요. 역시 그 지금 100년 넘게 지금 역사적으로 보케셔널 파트를 전담해서 이제 교육을 해오던 대학교답게 그 자부심이 막 느껴지잖아요. 중간에 껴들어갈 수가 없어가지고 그래서 이 RMIT 대학교에는 굉장히 이제 실습적인 공부가 되게 실무적인 공부가 되게 조금 많이 강조가 되고, 그 다음에 실제로 그런 학문들이 유명하기도 하고요. 그 중에 이제 대표적인 게 이제 디자인 학과 되게 유명한데, Let's move on to the art faculty. And then actually you already mentioned about the art faculty, but
Yes.
if you want to add up to about that, so I just want to ask, what factor do you think that made your art faculty is the best in Australia?
Yeah. Well, we're not saying that we are the best, because at the end of the day, it's how we actually select the student into the programs, and then how we actually offer the program to them that make us different. But the success of this program is not because of us. It's the reputation of this program is based on the success of the graduate outcome. So these are the students who come out. Art and design is very unique. It's not something like maths or business where you learn the formula or the business principle. This is very creative area. And then you constantly have to be creative. And you've got to come up with your own style of design as well. So the way that we are selecting the student is, we don't expect them to be able to, let's say, communication design or graphic design or interior design or architecture. We don't expect them at that time when they finish their high school that they already know what to do in that area. What we are looking for is those students who've got the creative skill, the conceptualization skill, and be able to demonstrate from where the inspiration from or the ideas coming from, and the process to get to the final products. That's the first thing we want to do, because they constantly happen. And when they arrive in the, if they are successful of getting admissions to RMIT and they come to RMIT to start their degree, the first thing they do is studio. And the teaching of our degree of art and design is very studio based. We've got 50% studio and then 50% of the subject or the study that's supporting the studio. It could be anything, could be robotic, could be IT, could be anything to support whatever they do. And that is the success. But the success, I come back to the point, is the people who are actually teaching you every day. These are the people who come from their background. They are professional designer or they are professional artists. So they are bringing in those knowledge. Not only well, they actually not telling you exactly what to do. They kind of throw out the idea, and then you have to come up with your own style, design, and direction where you go. And they are there to guide you, because you cannot be the same as Mr. Y versus Mr. X. You know, you've got to have your own uniqueness, and that's what RMIT enabling them to do that. We are not telling them what to do. We are not telling you what to do. You just have to have your own style, and you'll be guided. But these are the people who come from the industry. They know exactly what they have to do in order to be successful in that business. So that's what they are passing it on to you while you are at the university. But it's also another way that they are extracting your idea that they are looking for as well. So that's what the success is. So we don't want to take anyone into it. So it sounds like a very difficult to get to RMIT in art and design. Not because we want to be difficult, but we just want to make sure that the people who are actually coming in, they have lots of different creative skill in order to be successful, not only while they're studying, but also into the future of their work. Yeah. So we don't take anyone in, but the people who have to have that passionate and that skill.
오케이. 그래서 이제 스튜디오 베이스로 진짜 그 사람의 능력을 찝어서 키워서 하는 학업이 그게 이제 가장 큰 요소 중에 하나가 아닐까 싶고, 그 중에 이제 학과를 보다 보니까 좀 관심을 가지실 만한 재미있는 학과를 발견했어요. MD 보통 이제 얘기하는 학과인데 지금 최근에 이제 한국에 되게 많이 뜨고 있잖아요. 그래서 요거 한번 여쭤보도록 할게요. I just find out some like special course on the art faculty. It called the Bachelor of the merchandise management.
Yes.
So can you tell me about this course? I mean, what's the aim and what are you providing there?
Very interesting area, because quite often people confuse that we have a 1 year bachelor. No, actually the degree in Australia is always 3 years, but this program is quite interesting. Now if you look at the industry first, rather, what is the biggest brand here in terms of fashion? So let's say Zara. Okay, Zara is the brand, right? So you have a shop here. Zara, yeah, Zara, yeah. So you have a shop here. You have a shop somewhere else. A lot of shops, different departments, what we call different store. And then you have the head office somewhere.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Okay. Right. So we have two levels of study. The first bit of it is the first 2 years we call associate degree. Now don't confuse the associate degree in America community college versus our associate degree. Yeah, it's very different. Our associate degree is the first 2 years of the bachelor. So the student who actually in Australia or Australian student, if they want to work as the retailer managers, so managing the retail, the shop or the store level, then they come in to do the 2-year study. Right? And if within those 2 years, they learn from manufacturing, from design, from the business side of it, and they are real projects. We link them into lots of different fashion brands like Country Road in Australia. We are working on with Uniqlo. Maya is a department store, Target is another department store. We work with those people to giving the student an opportunity to do the project, and they are real projects for this company, organizations. So at that level, when they finish the 2 years, they actually come out and work as a store manager. Now every store, it depends on where the location. They have to understand their geographic as well as their demographic and the clients. How many, what type of merchandise or clothes or fashion they have to store, and then they feed back to the head office. So next semester or next season or the next year, this is what we need. So they kind of feeding up. So the people who actually work in the head office, these are the people who actually at a higher level. Then they do another year of the bachelor. So they go into 2 years associate degree, and they take another 3 years to finish the degree, and that's where they go to the next level. So is that clear to explain the 2 levels of the fashion merchandising? Yeah. So you can either opted to work at the store level as a manager level of the store, then you do the associate degree, and then if you want to go further into the business at a higher level of management or merchandising level, then you do the 3 year. So that's how it's successful. Yeah. So that's how it works in Australia now. So the beauty part of that, because very few universities offering this. We had this in the first place because it started with the order from the industry. The industry said we need 15 store managers. Can you help to train them up? So that's how we started at the beginning. So we had this program come out from the industry order, and then we built it. Now it's become a very successful program. That's why it's quite popular.
Very organized by the real market demand.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. But so you can see now there's 2 levels of entry. So you don't have to do the whole 3 years. You can do halfway, not halfway, but you can get to 1 level, store level, and then department like head office level. That kind of the easiest way to explain.
오, 재밌어요. 그러면 이제 시간 관계가 좀 빨리 넘어갈게요. 그다음에 지금 에비에이션 요즘 관심 많으시잖아요. 요거만 간단하게 물어보고 넘어갈게요. Let's quick move to the aviation part.
Yep.
So actually you have the associate degree in aviation and professional pilot.
Yes.
So I just wonder, is it possible to, how can I say, is it possible? Is it right English drive or
To fly? Yeah.
fly?
Yeah. To fly an aeroplane.
Right. Yeah. Fly. If they can do. They can fly with the commercial airplane, or they can do only light thing.
Well, to start the industry itself, all right. So if you want to work for, let's say, Korean Air, first of all, you need to know what is their requirement to get into to the company as a pilot. I don't know exactly what it, but let's say Qantas in Australia, they require you to have at least 2,000 flying time hours before you can start with them in a small aeroplane. All right, so that we call the commercial pilot license. That means you have to be able to navigate yourself in the air and control the small plane. That's to start with, right? And in order to do that, students have to go and get a CPL, which is a commercial pilot license, where they fly a single engine or twin engine, depending on what level of training. So that's how you got to start to get it first. So how does it work? So the student, first of all, they go to get RMIT, let's say for example, to the commercial pilot license, and they work in a small industry, in the more with the small aeroplanes for a number of hours, and then they will apply to go into the commercial, and they have further training depending on the aircraft they're going to use, and they go there. So depending on the country requirement, in Australia you're not required to have a bachelor degree, but in most of the Asian countries you must have a degree as well as part of your career in the commercial airlines. But what we at RMIT, we have two different type of programs. So if you just want to come to get a CPL, you do the associate degree for 2 years, where you will learn to fly an aeroplane, and up to the point where you can also to become a pilot trainer, or you can the instrument rating. So there's two different streams toward the end of it, but you will get the CPL, which is commercial pilot license. Now in Australia, in order to work in a small aeroplane and be able to fly your own aeroplane, the Civil Aviation Authority of Australia requires you to have at least the license with 150 hours in terms of training. But our university provides 160 hours, so that we meet the requirements here. But I also know that in Korea or some other part of Asian country, you must have at least 200 hours and your license. So that's another thing that you got to be mindful about it too. So how do you get this additional thing? So two ways of doing it. And I think you also have to have a bachelor degree here from my memory. That's what someone told me, but I have to check that. So you can verify that again. So there's two ways they can do. So one is they go into the bachelor degree or 3-year degree, where they learn the management side of the airport aviation industry, and they also do the pilot training over the 3 years. So they study theory and all the aspect of the aviation management or industry, plus the pilot. They don't do they don't do aircraft maintenance. They only do the airline industry management side of it, right? Or alternatively, which is the best way that I mostly recommend a student to do, is to enroll into the advanced diploma, the associate degree for 2 years, just to get the pilot license out of the way, get the license, and then further their study in the bachelor for 2 more years or 1.5 year equivalent in terms of enrollment, but they have to do it over 2 years. And while they are doing the bachelor component, they already have the license to work as a pilot in Australia for small aircraft. And by doing that, they also accumulate more hours in the logbook. That's how they do it. And the special thing about RMIT is we are only doing the training. We don't do commercial fly. So we have 11 aircraft, single engine, and we've got 1 twin engine and bi-turbine. So that's for the student to practice. We don't do commercially. So it can be done in a lot more focused way, rather than you have to go to another facility to do it. So everything is under RMIT. The aeroplane is owned by us or leased by us. The aircraft is the airport is mainly used for training, not for commercially, and the license is from RMIT too. So everything is come from RMIT in that package. Other institutions where they work with another commercial company where they own the aeroplane.
Alright. 그럼 지금까지 이제 좀 RMIT가 어떤 학교인지 그냥 간단하게 대표적으로 제공하는 학교, 물론 이거 말고도 되게 많은 학과를 제공하고 있지만 지금 조금 문의 많이 궁금해하시는 부분들만 조금 골라서 디자인 패컬티랑 그다음에 그 중에 에비에이션 관련해서 얘기 한번 나눠봤고요. 자세한 사항은 밑에 이제 내용을 내려가고 있는 이제 카카오톡 통해서 문의 주시면 더 질문 답변 드릴 수 있을 것 같고요. 지금 오늘 얘기 들으면서 조금 되게 인상적이었던 것 같아요. 특히나 저는 이제 얼마나 이제 학교에 대한 자부심을 조금 확 느낄 수 있었고, 그래서 이 지금 실무자를 키우는 거에 굉장히, 그러니까 호주 경제를 돌아가게 하는 학교 중에 하나니까 이런 부분들에 대한 자부심이 굉장하다는 것을 느낄 수 있었고요. 궁금하신 분 있으면 언제나 밑에 이제 돌아가고 있는 걸로 연락 주시면은 항상 도움 드리고 계시겠습니다. Thanks for today. And now I know how you are providing and what you are providing.
It's an organization that we have been working for many years. it's a great partnership. Thank you very much for supporting us over the years. I know that you have been sending a lot of students to all over the places, but the students that went through to you, to your company, to us, they have been very highly quality students and they have been very successful. So thank you for the ongoing support.
오케이.
Thank you. Yeah.
지금까지 바다군이 다 알려줘줘 바다주역입니다. 지금까지 다 알려줘줘 바다군이었습니다. 다음 시간에 또 만나요. 감사합니다. 바이바이.